Hello everyone, welcome to my channel English Tutor. In today's lesson, you're going to learn about subject and predicate. So let's start. Hello everyone, welcome back to another lesson of English Tutor. I'm so glad to have you all here. Right, so I have a question for you all. What is this? This is a hand. What is a hand? It's a noun. But do you know it can also be a subject? Confused? Just like this hand is one of the most important parts of my body, similarly, the subject is not the most, but it is one of the most important parts of a sentence. So yes, today we are going to learn parts of a sentence. So there are two main parts of a sentence, okay? Now, one is your subject and the other is your predicate. Okay, so we have two main parts for subject. One is, the main parts for sentence, one is your subject and the other is your predicate. So now what is a subject? A part of a sentence that tells us who or what the sentence is about. That is your predicate. वो part sentence का जो हमें ये बताता है कि हम किसके बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, तो जिसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे हैं, that is your subject. Okay? So, a part of a sentence that tells who or what the sentence is about is your subject. Okay? Now, a subject is the doer. It's the doer of the action also. Okay? Now, when I say the subject is the doer of the action, you can consider the subject to be an actor who acts, okay? And the one who's acting is the actor. So the one who is doing the action is the subject. So the subject can also be considered to be an actor here. Interesting, right? Okay, so that part of a sentence which tells us who or what the sentence is about is your subject, and your subject is also the doer of the action in a sentence. Now, talking about predicate. Predicate is the part of a sentence which tells us something about the subject. Okay, so predicate tells us something about the subject. Okay, so there are two main parts of a sentence. One part of a sentence is your subject that tells you who or what the sentence is about, and the other part, the rest of the part of the sentence leaving the subject, is your predicate that tells you something about that subject. Okay, now we need to understand that our subject can either be a noun or a pronoun. Okay, so when I say the subject can be a noun or a pronoun, that means it cannot be anything else other than this. It has to be either a noun or a pronoun. It cannot be an adjective, it cannot be an adverb, it cannot be a preposition. It has to be either a noun or a pronoun. Okay? So this is about the subject and predicate. Let's understand this better with the help of an example. Right? Now let's understand subject and predicate with the help of some examples. We have here few sentences, okay? Alex is a swimming champion. Now in order to find out the subject, you need to ask the question who before the verb in a sentence. So that means you need to first find out the verb in a sentence, then ask the question who. The answer that you get for the question who is your subject, and then the rest of the part of the sentence is your predicate that will tell you something about the subject. Now let's try. Alex is a swimming champion. Now what's the verb here? It is. So now let's ask the question who before the verb. So who is a swimming champion? The answer that you get for the question who is a swimming champion is Alex. Alex is a swimming champion. So Alex is your subject here, and the rest of the sentence is your predicate that is telling you something about the subject here. Now let's see another example. She went for a walk. Now let's find out the verb here. What's the verb? Went. Now let's ask the question who before went. So who went for a walk? Now the answer that we get for this question is she went for a walk. So she is my subject here. Now as you can see, Alex is the noun, she is the pronoun. So she went for a walk. So she is my subject, and the rest of the sentence is my predicate. Okay. Now let's see the next example. Sam and his dog are playing together. Now Sam and his dog are playing together. Let's find out the verb here. And the verb is are playing. Right. So now let's ask the question who before the verb. So who are playing together? The answer that we get for this question is Sam and his dog. So we do not have just one noun here but two nouns, which is Sam and his dog. So Sam and his dog is your subject, and then again the rest of the sentence is your predicate, which is telling you something about the subject. Okay, it's telling you that Sam and his dog, what are they doing? They are playing. Okay, they are playing together. So they're telling you something about the subject here. So now let's see the next example. Jack's poem about his mom made the class cry. Now what's the verb here? Okay, the verb is made. Now let's ask the question who before the verb. So who made the class cry? Jack's poem. If you think that this is the subject, let me tell you that you're wrong. Because when I ask the question who made the class cry, it is Jack's poem made the class cry, but Jack's poem about whom? Jack's poem about his mother made the class cry. Here we have some added information in the subject for the noun Jack's poem. Okay, so the added information is the poem is about Jack's mom. So Jack's poem about his mom is your subject, and the rest of the sentence is your predicate. Easy, isn't it? So now let's see. As of now, we have we found out the subject and predicate in the declarative sentences. Now see that how you can find out the subject and predicate in interrogative sentences, right? So have you solved the sum? There are two ways of finding the subject here. One is that you will find the subject in interrogative sentences between a helping verb and a main verb. Okay, and the second easiest way to find out the sentence in the interrogative sentence is, the subject in the interrogative sentence is by changing the interrogative sentence to declarative. Now let's see. have you solved the sum? So when I try to change it to declarative, it will be you have solved the sum. Okay. So after we have changed this interrogative to declarative, we got the statement you have solved the sum. So now let's ask the question who after the verb here. What's the verb? Have solved. Okay. Now let's try and get the answer by asking the question who. So who have solved the sum? The answer that you get for the question who have solved the sum here is you. So the subject here is you. So you is your subject and the rest of the sentence that is left is your predicate. Right? Okay. Are the cooks preparing dinner? So again, let's change this interrogative sentence to declarative. Are the cooks preparing dinner? So we'll write the cooks are preparing dinner. Full stop. Okay. So what's the verb here? Again, are preparing. Now let's try and get the subject here by asking the question who before the verb. So who are preparing dinner? So who are preparing dinner? The cooks. The cooks are preparing dinner. So here the cooks, it's your subject and then the rest of the sentence is your predicate. Right? So now let's see. You is the subject here, have is your helping verb, solved is your main verb, and in between you have the subject. Again, are is your helping verb and preparing is your main verb. And you have the subject again between these two, that is the cooks. Easy, right? So now let's try and understand how to find a subject and a predicate in your imperative as well as your. Okay, now let's try and find out the subject in imperative and exclamatory sentences. Okay, so go upstairs. I cannot see any subject here. Let's see the other sentence. Open the refrigerator. Again, there is no subject. Can you see? No. But do you know that the subject here is hidden? It is not mentioned here, but it is understood. If you remember, in my last video, I have explained to you that in imperative sentences, if the subject is not mentioned, okay, then it is understood that the subject will be you, okay. So these two are your imperative sentences. So when I say go upstairs, it is you go upstairs. So what's here the verb? The verb is go. So let's ask the question who. So who go upstairs? You go upstairs. So you is your subject and go upstairs is your predicate. Similarly, what's the verb here? Open. So who opened the refrigerator? You open the refrigerator. So the answer that we get for the question who is you. So you is your subject here and the rest of the sentence is your predicate. The rest part of the sentence is your predicate. Okay. So I'm again repeating here that if in imperative sentences the subject is not mentioned, then it's understood that the subject is you. Okay. Now moving on to your exclamatory sentences. So in exclamatory sentences, we need to understand that the subject will always be towards the end, right? Now again, the easiest way to find out the subject here in exclamatory sentences, it is again by changing the exclamatory sentences to your declarative sentences, right? So what a wonderful person you are. So when I want to change this to declarative sentence, I'll say, you are a wonderful person. Okay. Now, where's the verb? Let's find out the verb here. Okay, it is are. Now let's ask the question who to find out the subject. So who are a wonderful person? The answer that we get for the question who are a wonderful person is you. So who are a wonderful person? You are a wonderful person. So you is your subject here, and the rest part of a sentence is your predicate. Okay. So here you is your subject and the rest part of the sentence is your predicate. Now let's see another example. How beautiful the river is. Okay. Now let's change this to declarative. It will be, the river is beautiful. Okay. Now what's the verb here? Is who is beautiful? The river. Okay. So the river is your subject, and then the rest part of the sentence is your predicate. Easy, right? Let's try another one. What a lovely voice she has. Okay, now how will we change it? She has a lovely voice. Okay, now again, what's the verb? Give has. So who has a lovely voice? The answer that we get for the question who has a lovely voice is she has a lovely voice. So here she is your subject, and then the rest part of the sentence is your predicate. Easy, right? So what do we understand? That the subject, for finding the subject in a sentence, you ask the question who before the verb. Okay. So I hope you all must have understood the subject and predicate. That is the two main parts of a sentence. If you have,